Hey guys, welcome to our series of finale review of The Boys Season 2, in which we'll review the last 3 episodes and the series overall. We just got done with the season finale, though, and I gotta say, holy crap, what a twist ending there, and extremely satisfying if you're wondering, was season 2 worth it? Was the ending satisfying? In my opinion, it was. This is another fantastic boys season. And in my opinion, this is one of the best series on television going right now.
Oh, yeah.
It's definitely the best superhero stuff going on right now. I'm just happy that Amazon kind of lets the boys do what they want, and as they please. It's been really, really fun. What do you guys think of the last 3 episodes here?
Episode 6 is by far my favorite.
Yeah, so this episode
No
6 is the
bias.
bloody doors off.
No bias. What do you mean?
Why is episode 6 your
The
favorite?
Golden Girls.
They drop a reference to
Many
I was
references.
Like, yes, this is
Dude.
amazing.
Joe's favorite television series, The Golden
It's also
Girls.
a must watch.
In addition, must-watch TV, and in addition, they use the song. Thank you for being a friend in a creative way. Let's just go ahead and jump into the individual episodes and talk about them. The series kind of went in a direction I didn't think it would, and it continues to do that. But the directions that it take, in my opinion, are fascinating and interesting, and I'm interested to see where it actually pays off.
Yeah, on this, episode 6, this is where they find out the secret testing and all the
Yep.
stuff they find out about Vought and whatnot.
They
Okay.
discover that Lamplighter is still around.
Yeah.
Yeah. My question was, what's going on with Cindy? She's another mysterious character that we kind of don't see towards the end, I guess.
Are you talking about the one with the buzzed head?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because
So
at
that.
first I thought it was her that killed, whatchamacallit.
Oh, later on when the heads are popping.
Yes.
Yeah.
By the end of the episode, so if you don't know, there's a bunch of captured sort of prisoners. They're experimenting on them with Compound V, having something to
Yeah.
do with, Stormfront's plots, Vought's plots, that kind of thing. And during this, they release all the prisoners. The boys' team goes in there, and she's one of the most powerful ones, and she can kind of go, toe to toe with,
Yeah,
Stormfront
she's just like
and.
basically
She does like
crushes
this,
people.
and then you just implode. It's kind of
One
crazy.
of the most powerful. So she's on the loose now, and as Joe pointed out, we never saw her again.
Yeah, that's
She
what
might
like,
factor into
I thought she was the
season
one who
3.
killed the FBI agent at first.
At the very beginning.
At the very
Versus-
beginning. But come to find out, it wasn't her.
No,
Yeah.
it wasn't. I
Mystery.
think it was definitely Vanessa, as we see here at the end, or the final reveal. Okay, so as we go through there, the boys sort of learn about Lamplighter and the adult subjects, and I just think this Lamplighter character was hilarious. I mean, he plays Iceman
Iceman.
in the X-Men, and now he's a fire guy in the boys. It's like he can't get away from the elements. But it's a completely different, obviously, character than when he played in Iceman. He is a washed-up loser, and
He
just,
just wants to make his dad proud, so he's trying to feel accomplished, but he just
Yep.
can't.
has
Just
his own
fails.
damage. Has been, lost his position on the on the 7, and the boys are able to manipulate this, and they don't immediately come to blows and start killing each other. He kind of is forced to join alongside them as they're going forward. So eventually, all these this delinquents get out. And, you would think with all this chaos happening that Vought would be in trouble. And there's been so many times where we thought that Vought would be in trouble and they managed to escape.
Yeah. So Stormfront kind of said that she contained everything. There's like almost a throwaway line that's like, I found some people outside the containment breach,
Yeah.
murdered all of them. And so like this isn't something that like even all of the people at Vought know about. This is, it's kind of off the books. It's its own little private thing. And so she is kind of in charge, and she murdered everyone who escaped.
Yeah, so and we get a little bit more of Stormfront's sort of history and backstory in it, and then we go a little bit to A-Train being courted by this Church of the Collective, I think it's called,
Yes.
and again,
Deep.
At this time, it's so out of it. It doesn't make any sense.
Do you
we
want a
don't know where it's
Fresca?
going. You know,
Alex, maybe
I
you
don't
need
know
a
why.
Fresca.
I do like
feeling-
Fresca.
just
It's
feeling
grapefruit,
one.
right?
I
Fresca's
don't
like
know.
grapefruit
I don't
lime,
think
Yeah,
I've
something like
actually
that.
actually
like
ever
delicious.
had a Fresca.
Yeah, I love
in
a
my
Fresca.
life.
Good.
No.
No,
I've had
it's just
it.
lime.
Fresca sucks. I wonder if that's another product placement. This show has these weird product placements. We've
Almond
got an
Joy.
ongoing one with Almond Joy throughout the last half of this. So yeah, episode 6 really good in my opinion. I'd probably rated a solid 8
Agreed.
for how it is progressed the story. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I give it an 8 as well.
All right, and then we move on to episode 7. 2 episodes left, getting really action-packed now. You got Butcher, Baker, and the Candlestick Maker. And basically, at this point, Congressman... Oh, it's not Vanessa, it's Victoria.
Yeah, Vic.
Victoria schedules a hearing against Vault, and, the boys are trying to keep Lamplighter and protect Lamplighter, and
He's a
so
star
they assign
witness. Mhm.
Huey to babysit him. He's over there watching porn, and it's like all this superhero porn, and he was like, "Oh, I gotta fucking deal with this." They're talking about getting, cucked, and he manages to convince Lamplighter to not be a cuck, to be the one doing the fucking and go help him save Starlight, because as they're watching the porn, they realize, oh shit, Starlight has been captured, and she's being held prisoner, and it seems like her powers are being dampened, and so that comes to a head. Vought is finally sick and tired of Starlight shit behind their backs. They manage to get a hold of her and bring her in. And so they go in there, Lamplighter, and almost immediately Lamplighter gets distracted. He's like, "Where's my statue?"
I wanted to kill myself in front of my own statue.
And so he fucking kills himself because he's like, "I just wanted to make my dad proud." It all goes off the deep end, and I'm like, "Oh man, I kind of wanted to see more of adventures of this
Yeah.
creepy Lamplighter with."
So can we trade the deep for Lamplighter? Can we just get rid of that whole thing and do more Lamplighter
the
stuff?
Church Deep Collective. So he literally bursts himself on fire, and he was like, "God damn it!" So he's like has to hack his hand off in order to continue to his quest. But it was a touching moment because he's in this facility. He's attacking the fucking Seven's headquarters, essentially, because he wants to get his girlfriend out. And she manages to get out herself when, the emergency lights comes on. She's able to use the alarm system.
Dumb design by Bot.
Right.
What are you gonna
Joe,
do?
it's code.
Oversight.
You have to have,
On the inside?
sprinklers and alarm systems and things. Anyways, so she pulls the light through, bursts the thing out, and fucking Black Noir comes out of nowhere and fucking starts
I was
kicking
like,
her
oh,
fucking
she's
ass.
fucking dead.
She's
This
fucking
guy
dead.
is a trained killer.
Yeah, but I will say that she took a lot more fucking hits than I thought that she would.
Yeah.
So she's not just the light powers. I think she's got a little bit of super strength. It may not be anywhere near the level of Queen Maeve or Homelander or Black
Stormfront
Noir, but
and
she was
stuff.
able to take some punches.
Yeah, I mean, even the Translucent, who really doesn't look like they have any power other than just going invisible in season 1, they couldn't figure out how to get into, they're talking about, diamond skin, right? They couldn't
Yeah.
get in there. So she's incredibly durable, which is why she didn't explode when getting thrown through all the marble
Or
pillars and
hit with the
smashed the
fucking
table.
cement.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So she's getting her ass kicked by Vought, or by Black Noir, who essentially is Vaught's, attack dog. And he gets the upper hand on her, and you think she's done for. I thought that maybe Huey would come in there and just try to beat up on him and then get his ass kicked.
Oh, no, he's
but
dead.
it was Queen Maeve.
So he would be
Yeah.
dead. Mhm.
Yeah, he would have been dead in an instant.
Half a second.
But so Queen Maeve beats the shit out of him. How she beats the shit out of him?
With
She
the
didn't even beat him
weirdest
up.
thing. She's like, "Here, eat this Almond Joy. He's got a nut allergy." It's like, oh, okay.
I thought it was hilarious. Look, we got the big fight scene. We've been getting several
It was
fight
good.
scenes.
It's funny.
But I think it lends itself well to just the personality of the show, the comedy in the show, the dark comedy, I should say, and just the realistic, things. Like, look, you want to shut down this guy he does have a peanut allergy.
Yeah, he's trying to grab his EpiPen. She kicks it away. He's like, nope. He's like, oh, God.
Black Noir is just, I don't know. It's odd to call him adorable because he's an automaton murderous robot, but he is a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, he's got a peanut allergy. He cries in the corner whenever he figures out.
He's playing with little kid. With
He's
little
sensitive.
The little doll
toys.
thing after he murders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just can't wait to see more of Black Noir because
too.
so there's already if you don't know, I keep saying it. They've already ordered a season 3.
Yes.
Season 3 is coming. Seth Rogen was like, "You guys have been supporting the show. A lot, Amazon's has seen good enough numbers. You're gonna get more of The Boys, and I'm happy for it." But okay, so she saves her. They get out, and where do we go from there? Get back to The Boys.
They make it back to the secret lab. That's pretty much the end of season 7, episode 7. They
Yeah,
Yeah,
but there's a
'cause-
lot more in there.
Basic,
You have to
I
forget
know which one
that.
it is. Basically, they're trying to get another star witness because
Lamplighter burnt.
Lamplight
Yeah, the
he
whole
basically
immolation
killed
thing.
himself.
Yeah.
So they needed to find some more evidence. And Huey and Starlight are driving around trying to go to Maeve first. They go to
That's
Maeve
episode
first.
8.
Oh.
Okay, well, here we're skipping a plot, and it's one of the most important ones. Homelander with Stormfront goes and manipulates, his son into leaving Becca. So he exposes the lie that his mother is told, and he's like, meet my girlfriend Stormfront, and she's like, hey, and Becca, the mother's like, get the fuck out of here,
Yeah.
and he's like, no, I'm gonna be in his life a lot more, and so he wants to sort of play family, and he wants to, raise his son to be like him, and so they manipulate him and they fly him up. And he sees that, what the fuck, I've been living a lie and fake. So he gets mad at his mom. He's like, I hate you. And he convinces him, and he gets him essentially away from his mother. And she goes fucking ballistic. Makes a plea not to do this. And you could see that, Homelander kind of considers it a little bit, but he's like, nah. Yeah, he's got Stormfront in his ear. He's got, quite clearly Homelander is attached to his son, and it's made a point later on that this could be his weakness, because Homelander has never had a weakness before.
Well, I mean, the motivations here actually make a lot of sense, because this is normally in a story where I start rolling my eyes and go, this is so poorly written, I don't give a shit. It doesn't make any sense. And Homelander's motivations here are actually really, really good. He's like, look, you are trying to do the right thing, but inadvertently are
He
doing the
means
wrong
well.
thing. You are
Yeah.
raising him the way that they raised me, and he's going to freak out the way that I freaked out. And in a way, Homelander is kind of making his point. He's like, I don't want him to turn out like me or to go through the same journey that I went to.
Yeah.
And so it's a good motivation. It's well written and it makes sense.
Yeah.
And this is something that's a strength of the show.
Yep.
That there's not a lot of time. There are times, but there's not a lot of times where I'm like, man.
Yeah, this doesn't make sense,
Yeah.
or that person wouldn't do that right now, or they do something that's opposite of what you think they do, but their motivations make sense, and you buy it, and that's the strength of the show. And so, you're like, well, maybe for half a tick, you're like, maybe Homelander's right. He needs to get out and be in the world and not just cooped up with his mom, who wants to be able to play with her mom all
Especially
day.
all she's doing is microwaving veggie lasagna.
he's gotta be
That was
sick
a
of that
small
shit.
veggie lasagna for 4 people too.
Oh
For
my God,
you.
of course.
Yeah.
Anyways, so they take him out on a town, out on the town, and at first they had him cooped up in the tower with the secretary assistant, and they're like, okay, they're trying to play cool mom, cool dad, and it's like, oh, let's go out and we'll go to Planet Hollywood, or at least the version of Planet Hollywood.
something like that.
But unfortunately, you can't just go to Planet Hollywood as Homelander and Stormfront, because everybody's going to notice who you are. They're going to come up to you. They're going to want selfies. And, Homelander he loves it. This is
He
his
loves the
other
attention,
weakness.
yeah.
He loves the attention.
Loves
And
people.
so he's almost forgetting about his son, or just not paying enough attention. And his son, is like being overloaded
has a
with the
panic
amount of
attack, yeah.
people. His powers are kind of kicking in, and just too
He's
many
just not
people
used
talking. He
to
wants
it.
to leave. And Homelander, does the right thing, and he stops, and he takes his son out there. He's like, get out of the way. I'm scared of Homelander. Anytime he's protecting his son, like, you fucking get scared. And you could see, he's like, go. It's like, damn, man. And then he flies off and takes him off. So, takes him to a cabin, where they can have a little bit more alone time and kind of train his powers, because his son, he wants to develop his son's powers.
Well, and then the last thing that happens in 7 is they finally get Vogelbaum to come in. So he was a chief science officer. He was kind of the one that raised
father.
Homelander. And, we got this weird parallel earlier that, it was almost a nonsense scene that when you're watching it the first time, you're like, man, why are we doing this? Why is Butcher meeting with his father, who's clearly dying? And we see this, like, weird relationship where, Butcher was abused by his dad. And then he's really resentful of it. And then we go to Vogelbaum, and who is also that character. And so Homelander and Butcher are kind of similar in that.
Yeah.
So the Austin Powers thing, you and I aren't so different after all.
Yeah, exactly. So Vogelbaum comes into he's going to be the new Star Witness. Butcher says, I will
And they
kill.
got Lord of the Rings alumni, the leader of the messed up leader of Gondor or something to play it. So you got to reunite of the two cast members from Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
They played his father pretty well because you got to be kind of a badass and a piece of shit to play his father. And they got one good one.
Got the leather jacket. He had a bunch of jet black dye in his hair, and it was just
holy
like,
shit, this is older.
oh, it's him. It's like he did it. Yeah. So Vogelbaum, they doesn't want to be the witness, and Butcher says, "Look, I'm going to kill your daughter. I'm going to find your sons. I'm going to kill them. I'm going to kill their wives. I'm gonna kill
such
your
a
grandkid."
good scene. And he
And
drinks that tea.
He just he's like, "Oh, this is so good," and he's like having the tea,
Stares at him.
smiling through the threads.
And he'll fucking do it.
Yeah.
And Vought knew he was.
It's
Vogelbaum.
crazy.
Yeah.
And so he goes to testify, and he sits down, and he's like ready to spill his guts. He takes his oath, and pop,
Heads
pop, pop.
explode.
Heads explode.
All over the place.
Yeah.
I was like, at first I thought it was a sniper or some kind of power. I'm like, what? But what? No, that's not working because they're just popping, and it's coming from no random direction. So we have no idea what the fuck is going on. And Homelander looks surprised. Hell, even Stormfront looks surprised.
Yeah.
I wonder why their heads didn't pop.
Yeah.
Can their
the
heads pop?
They can.
Well,
for
the
sure.
only one was A-Train.
Speedster.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
Speedster.
Speedster.
I was like, I don't know
Yeah,
what his
but
name
he
was.
might not have super strength like the others.
Almost every soup so far
But-
has been insanely durable.
Okay.
Again, that was his
Okay.
fault. First sign of someone exploding. He's fast enough. Get the fuck out.
Exactly.
Get the fuck out.
That's
I was
true.
like, fuck that.
Joe would
You
have been
can't
gone
catch
like he was
me.
never there.
Exactly.
Yeah. And so then, obviously, in public, when this happening, they really ramp up the terrorists are attacking
Yeah, soup
America. They
terrorists.
have, speeches and things. It's like, we more soups and we need this and that. And so that plot line is really reaching a crescendo there. And then we go into the final episode.
Yeah, episode 8 is where Vought is trying to make Compound V out to the public.
Yeah, first
Give to
responders,
losses, like
everyone.
officers and stuff like that. Then ICE.
So that,
It's like,
to
that's
me,
crazy.
that episode 7 was really, really good. I liked it better
Yeah.
than 6. I think that's a 9 out of 10 for me on
It was
episode
going up
7.
for
Yep.
me.
Yep. I forgot to mention in episode 7, A-Train, he's kind of noticing some contradictions within the church, some hypocrisy. And the church is like, oh, fuck that guy. He's off the program. He didn't fail the program. No, the program didn't fail him. He failed the program, you know. And they were like, fuck him, let's go. And, of course, the Deep is 100% in. So he's just
cutting
licking
them,
the guy's balls. He's like, of course, sir, the head of the
I
church.
never liked that guy anyways.
Yeah,
Yeah. I
fucking
was like,
leave.
he helped you
But A-Train's
out.
like, what the fuck, right? But A-Train's just in it so he can get back in the 7. Same thing with the Deep. But that they drop that little thing, and that pays off in the very next episode. But, the next episode starts from, it says, what I know. So your plan is kind of fucked, right? Because your lamplighter's gone. He was supposed to testify. You found somebody else to testify. His head fucking
head blew up.
exploded. It's like, how the fuck are we going to get these guys?
They
so
can't keep
what
these
do they
people
do?
alive anymore.
Right.
They go to Maeve, try to convince her to testify, but
Mm-hmm.
she's like, no, fuck it, I'm done. I don't want to do this. Nothing ever changes.
Yeah, I'll
so-
testify.
Girlfriend
nothing.
left her.
Yeah.
She's
just in a rough patch right now. She's
yeah,
just
because
like,
she
no.
noticed that she didn't save anybody, and she just can't get over the fact that there's been some bad shit being done, and it's tough, And so she leaves her, and Maeve just goes into herself. She's like, guys crazy flings with guys on the side, and kind of turns into an evil Maeve, a version of herself, like doesn't care about anybody.
I like that they're
She's doing sex, drugs.
absolutely exhausted and passed out on the bed, and she's just there smoking because she's got the
Yeah.
The strongest person, second strongest person on Earth, was insane endurance. Just like those poor dudes' pelvises.
Yeah,
those poor dudes.
I was wondering. Oh, come on! Why is he falling asleep
They're
while
so
she's dealing with
tired,
this?
they're
No, this
passed out.
motherfucker tired.
Yeah,
Anyways,
he earned that nap.
so you would think that Maeve, okay, yeah, let's do this. This is her opportunity. No, get the fuck out and take your little twink person with you. Just shut the fuck up and get
Just
the
shut
fuck out. Just shut up, man. And they're like, God damn, while simultaneously, I talked about this a little in episode 7. They've got his son in the cabin, Homelander and Stormfront, and they're trying to teach him the ways of his powers. He's trying to use his eyes lasers, and he's unable to because it's just difficult for him. And of course, Stormfront starts to spout her fucking nonsense.
And you see Homelander.
Even his eye,
he's
he's just like,
like, wait a minute.
What the
no,
fuck are you talking
he's
about?
like, that's
The
not
white
right.
genocides are
Yeah,
coming
it's like
for
some-
us. You need to focus your hate. And they did a little bit. I forgot about that a little bit in episode 7. So they kind of doing a mirroring of the politics. As they were giving their speech of, they're flooding across our borders, all of these superpowered terrorists and these damn social justice warriors.
Yeah.
And I think some people have cringed a little bit, and some people have knee jerked and said, "Oh my God, the boys is going woke, and they're go woke, go broke." And then you have these people because they don't really like to see that mirror held up to them and seeing that rhetoric and it manipulating and fear mongering and that kind of stuff, and trying to find a villain to push an ulterior motive. They don't want any of that in in their life, in the entertainment. But I do like when some series handle it in an interesting way or in a smart way, and I think this one does, because it's like these people would rather you not talk about anything like that. But I think it's interesting. Social media and these, you would think that social media and the internet and the digital age would make us all smarter, and it should have. But honestly, it seems to be bringing people into these pocket groups, right? And these echo chambers. And they can have all the evidence, and it's real evidence, and it's physical evidence, and then it's fake evidence, and then it just get all mixed together in this vat of goop, and you have no fucking idea, and self-confirmation and bias, and it's just crazy, right? And so you have some of that, and smart politicians and people take advantage of that and use that and vocalize that and manipulate it. So the tactics of manipulating
Especially
a
fear.
populace on a mass scale, like we're seeing now, the boys of all series is kind of touching on that. We've seen a little bit of, the social media stuff like that on Black Mirror and things. So anyways, whereas I think it bothers some people, it doesn't bother me. I think it's kind of interesting and smart in the way that they're kind of handling it, because I do believe and I do buy that a person like Stormfront with Stormfront's motivations wouldn't just say, I'm racist and I want to kill all these people because their color of their skin. That shit would not work.
No.
She
You gotta
knows it
tiptoe
doesn't
around
work,
it.
right? So you have to find a way around it. You have to tiptoe around it. You have to dog whistle. You have to, get people angry in a different way and use coded language. And so when they shine a light on that, it's just interesting to me. And hopefully people can see that and see that in their daily life to avoid that, because that shit happens. It does. It's an effective tactic. Fear-mongering has been an effective tactic for decades. Anyway, so getting back to episode 8. So she's spouting her rhetoric here, and even Homefront's like, what? We're going to deal with this later. If she keeps doing this, you think that Homefront is going to do something about it. Even though Homefront's a piece of shit himself, right? But, he's more of an
down inside,
American
he
piece of
means
shit.
well.
And not a fucking Nazi piece of shit, because
Yeah.
it is revealed to the general public that she is, in fact, a Nazi, a secret Nazi. She's been in the inner circle with Hitler. And she's one of the original kind of superheroes with superpowers. And it was actually A-Train that exposed her, because there's a scene where the Vought and the church come together, and they're like,
Edgar.
all right, we'll let Deep back in, but A-Train, you're pushing it, and A-Train had secretly, you see the napkin fly up, and you're like, something's going on. Somebody's here. It's a speedster. It's A-Train. And so he hears that, fuck, they're going to fuck me. So fuck them, and he overhears this kind of stuff about the Nazis. And so he goes into their vault, takes the papers, gives it to
Huey and Starlight.
Huey and Starlight, and they expose it. And this happens while they're at the cabin, and she's like, shit! Fuck! Because she's been revealed. And then she flies off, and that's when the boys' plan of action comes into effect. So how did the boys essentially prepare and for this final battle? Or what
Very
is
poorly.
their motivation in this final battle?
Well, so all they want to do, I mean, really they're being misled because Butcher doesn't
Yeah.
want to do anything but have his wife separated from the son because he doesn't like the son. He's a soup. It's a constant reminder of, her sexual assault. Doesn't want the kid around. And so he makes a deal.
Homefront
And then so he makes a deal saying, look, I will get you the son.
with
but you,
Vought.
Yeah, you take the kid away, I keep my wife. And so they make this behind closed doors deal, but he's telling the team, we got to go rescue the kid. So they prep, an RPG that's good against Stormfront. They've got the epinephrine, who it's good to make A-Train's heart explode. They have all these different things.
And they're not allergies.
And then they've got plenty of almond joys, but no, Black Noir is in a coma, so
Yeah.
he's not a threat right now. And then they have these sonic things that only hurt soups, and so they put a bunch of them out there, and they're trying to stage this kind of heist to steal the kid back. And it seems to be going pretty well, until it doesn't.
Yeah. So eventually Stormfront lands, and she,
comes back.
she's notices their little fucking hangar with all their weapons and shit, and she's fucking pissed. She's like, you little bitch. And she just goes at it, and she's fighting Starlight. And she's also fighting Kamiko, I think her name is. And Kamiko previously had a scene where she was afraid what happens if I freeze up again because Stormfront murdered her brother and, it's affected her emotionally. And, Frenchie was just kind of talking to her is like, no, you'll know what to do. And then you kind of see that confidence get back in her. And she's like, I'm going to fucking shove
starts
my foot up
laughing.
your hoo-hoo. Or she's laughing. She starts laughing. They go at it. It's a fucking badass battle, just a throwdown. But then Stormfront starts to get the upper hand. The boys go run for their weapons. Stormfront.
Well, the boys announce what they're running to. They're like, we
Yeah,
have to run to get our super secret anti-Stormfront weapons.
I know, right?
And it's
What?
just like,
Should have just been like. Should have just been like, let's get the fuck out of here.
I look, I understand. I mean, it was only
Yeah,
we watched it a couple times. So the second time was like, all right, it was kind of dumb the first time, but it was really dumb the second time.
It was kind of dumb.
Yeah.
You dumbasses. So she blows up all of their basically support shit.
And she snaps the neck of Kamiko.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm
Yeah,
like,
I was
holy.
no, I like that.
Completely forgot about season 1, right? Where we know that she's
Yeah, I
she's
forgot
kind of
about it.
Wolverine, right?
Yeah.
Because she got chopped up by Black Noir and he just sliced her all over, and then she just heals back up. But I completely forgot.
Me
And so it's
too.
just like,
I was like,
oh
no,
shit, she's
I
dead.
was sad.
Damn, I was like, fucking Stormfront gets to take out a really good character. However, as she's getting the upper hand and about to beat the shit out of Starlight and the rest of the
Hey,
team,
Kraut.
hey, Kraut, and she turns around, boom, fucking
America!
Queen Maeve. America, fuck, Amazonians, fuck, yeah. I don't know where Queen Maeve is from, or she's got the same shit as Wonder Woman. She starts to beat the shit out of her. The 3 girls gang up on her, and they're just, it's not no coordinated fucking, kung fu. And,
Yeah, they're like, your turn. Tag
no,
me.
it's just
Fucking
a
whoop some
good
ass.
old-fashioned whoop-ass
Yeah.
beat down,
Nazi
a
style.
jump.
Yeah.
They fucking jumped her because it's 3-on-1. And the boys are noticing this, and they're like, all right, well, I guess there's nothing
They can't
for
do
us to
shit.
do.
They tried to shoot it, didn't do shit.
Yeah, they didn't do
Yeah,
anything.
yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I thought it was a cool moment
It was
that the
great.
girls get. I want to see Homelander fucking destroy, Stormfront, but they went in a different
Yeah.
direction. And
Well,
I
he
just
did,
thought,
technically.
yeah, they did. I want to talk about that in a minute, but I just thought that, oh, good, we get to see the girls throw down, and I was, like a big old, I thought the boys were going to say cat fight. They didn't say something like that, but they did say, like,
Well, they repeated
Girls
the
get it
Vought.
done.
Yeah, that's the Vought
Yes,
girls
sir,
get it done.
propaganda thing. It's like, oh, girls get it done. He's like, yeah, girls.
So
do
the
get
girls
it done.
got it done. They beat the shit out of Stormfront, and they got the upper hand. But they should have finished her off because
She just took off.
She took
yeah.
she took off.
Yeah.
Like she's not gonna win in that situation. And
Kind of wanted Maeve to like grab her as she's trying to
Me
escape,
too.
and
It's
then
like-
slam her back
It's
down
like,
to
this
the
is why
ground.
you don't use capes.
Yeah, no capes.
No capes.
But then she gets away.
I know.
I
No
love
capes.
I love
No capes.
Anyways, it's just you're so powerful. It was 3 versus 1, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
she couldn't handle him. She left. And I'm like, fuck. Well, you don't just let her go, you know. And they just kind of let her go.
Well, they can't fly.
I know Queen Maeve can't fly. Wonder Woman can
She's got
fly.
no
She can
visible
jump
flat, no
ish.
nothing.
So, anyways, they should have tried following her because she lands next to. But first I gotta say, so Butcher executes his plan. You know, does the sonic sound, gets Homelander to stupidly fly away from his son. You know, at
Well, that thing was fucking annoying as
yeah,
fuck.
he needed
I
to
was like,
destroy it. He found it, destroyed it. He's like, what the fuck?
He's been a
is
dad
going
for a
on?"
week.
Yeah.
He's
Not that great
Yeah.
as being a father. You're right. You're right. Abandoning his son is
Yeah, he
priority
doesn't have the
one.
dad instincts
Plus,
just yet.
he's gonna
Just
be
yet.
gone like 5 seconds.
Yeah, seriously. And he's also never been attacked
But
before.
that 5 seconds was enough for Butcher to get in there with the mom, and the mom was right. There's no way this kid is gonna run up to a man with a M16 who just bursts into his house. Sees his mother though, goes to
Yeah,
her.
it's
He's like,
fucking
"Who is this?"
terrifying.
And she's like, "That's my husband."
That's
And
the guy
so-
I'm currently manipulating and just stealing you back from the Superman.
Yes.
No, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
she got it.
Yeah.
But it's the right thing. So anyway, get him away from the psychopath Homelander. But it works out perfectly because Homelander double crosses the double cross. So Homelander says, "No, fuck that. I can't do it." So, and he even admits to Becca that he can't. He was
Well,
going
Butcher
to
can't do
sell
it
him
now.
out. Butcher can't do
Butcher-
it, right? And he's going to sell him out. So then the SWAT team comes in, and the SWAT team with Vought written all over them. It's like, "Where's the girl we need to take? Or the girl, the son we need to take? Butcher, where are you?" And that's when Homefront comes back, and he's like,
Did I hear you say Butcher?
closes the door.
so good.
Where's my son?
Give me back my
Where's
son.
my son? And then oh my God, that shit is
It's like,
scary,
you
man.
guys are fucked.
You guys are dead.
They knew
As
it
soon as
too.
he, yeah, as soon
You
as he
guys are
closed the door, I was like,
We're dead. We're dead, aren't we? Yep, you're dead.
But here's the thing. What did they expect?
Yeah.
They're going to go face Homelander. They knew what they were going to
No,
go
no, no, no,
face
no,
him
no. I
with.
think they were just kind of they trusted. This was a mistake of Vought because you trusted a little bit too much of Butcher, and I don't think that Vought would have fully trusted him. And so
Well, I
they
don't
should
think
have
Vought
brought
trusted him.
some kind of backup. But I guess they thought at that moment that he would have brought Homelander away for long enough for them to get the son. And honestly, they would have. Butcher
Probably.
would have, but Butcher just left before they showed up.
Well,
So-
Vought doesn't care about its people, so they really
Yeah.
risk
I
nothing,
guess,
right?
yeah, because it's like these guys are expendable.
Yeah.
So as that's happening, we have Stormfront who escapes her beatdown situation and lands right in front of Butcher.
Mm-hmm.
Butcher's not superpowered, you know. The mother, not superpowered.
But she's got the
kid-
paring knife of doom.
The kid is. I have no idea how this fucking knife pierced Stormfront.
So it's really common in comic books. We saw it a lot in like the Defenders series, like even Luke Cage, Indestructible Skin. But his eyes, get him right through his eyes.
The eyes
So,
are vulnerable.
Yeah.
right?
So apparently, and
Except for Superman. We
That's
saw that in
true.
Superman Return.
yeah,
But
but
they did that too with Translucent too, right? Because they went the other way to break the skin.
Oh, I thought they went inside.
Okay,
Yeah.
And they try stuff on Anyway, she does manage to get a good shot in. Basically, she's bleeding from the eye, and Butcher is, Stormfront grabs Becca, throws her up against a tree, he's just crushing her throat, and it's gonna fucking kill her. She's like, "Look at me, I want to see the light go from your eyes." Butcher can't do anything about it.
He's
Trying.
whooping her ass with the crowbar.
Yeah.
Not
No.
even phased.
But I saw this coming because the kid immediately is like, "Okay, you're fucking with my mom now. Stop. Get off my mom. You're gonna kill her." And even though Stormfront's been nice to him, and he's like, "I'm not sure what to think of you."
She offered him to play NBA 2K, and
Fuck
like,
that
only,
game.
Yeah,
I
seriously.
remember that.
Yeah.
Fuck that game.
I'm
So
going to
that
remind
was
you that a Nazi was just like, "Hey, by the way, you want to play NBA 2K?" It's like, I knew it. I knew they were linked somehow.
Yes, but remember, she also
God.
said PewDiePie too. She was trying to figure out what the kid was into. And honestly, a lot of people play 2K like Joe.
Not the new ones, right?
Not that you
Bought-
used
The old
to.
ones.
And some of our friends still play 2K. So she's just trying to figure out what the kid is. It's like, so I wonder if PewDiePie watches the boys and he's like,
Yeah.
oh shit, the Nazi character,
Yeah.
fucking mentioned me. God damn it. But at least I got a mention on the show. I would love to be mentioned by Homefront, even though he's a piece of shit. So I was a little jealous. Anyways, but he didn't know what to think of her. But now he's like, you're
killing my mom.
stop, you're killing my mom. And eventually he gets mad and he finds that thing. Because it's true. She was like, find something you hate and laser it. And he's like, I don't hate anything.
I'm a kid.
I'm a kid.
I hate
Not
broccoli.
only am I a kid, exactly, but I've been sheltered by my mom, and she's built this fake world for me. So he legitimately has nothing to hate until he sees his mom being
Pushed
beaten on
and stuff like that too.
and so he fires, and it is a massive beam explosion, and it makes the screen white. And if you'll recall, I mean, Stormfront is not a pushover.
She's already been lasered.
Homelander hit her with a death shot, and it didn't fucking do shit. And, she was like, again, and then, so he probably did a lighter beam the second time, but she could still take a Homelander beam. What I'm trying to get at is I think his son's might be more powerful than his father
Yeah.
in that moment of rage at the very least. He fucking
Anakin'd her.
Anakin'd her, right?
I mean, no, like everything. Like he had the high
Yeah.
ground at that point. 'Cause, I mean, she went full extra crispy, no hands,
Crispy.
crispy, extra
Why
crispy.
crispy? That's a level above crispy?
Yeah, it's above crispy.
Okay.
You haven't seen the extra crispy? Oh no,
Oh,
yeah,
I'm
it's
sorry.
It's
So
great.
good.
Get them more on the internet. It's
Damn,
great.
all right.
Yeah, and so yeah, I mean, she's
Well,
just
I
like,
don't know how eye lasers work because I would have
no
thought
one
a
knows how
hole,
eye lasers work.
Right, a hole would have been
pretty
burst
vague.
through her body in the middle or something, but no, it's as if her arms exploded and her legs exploded from the heat. I guess your fingers are the first things to go when it's cold extremities, so maybe when it's fucking hot they burst. I don't fucking know. But so she's hurting away, but when I looked at her, I was like, they put her that way specifically so they can bring her back as a mech robot in the future. If they
Cyber
want to do
Nazi.
like a fucking Wolfenstein Nazi
No.
fucking mech. Yeah, I'm telling
Vader.
you, Joe, a Vader.
They're gonna do Vader.
They're gonna do a Vader.
7 foot
That's
tall.
what I'm getting at.
Cyber Nazi.
Not 7 foot tall. They're just gonna give her fucking robotic limbs and
Man,
shit.
if you got a choice and you're like, hey, we're gonna give you new legs, it's like make me taller. You
yeah.
do it.
So, but she's
Maybe.
spouting. She's spouting.
German.
Probably.
No, she's
why-
talking. She's talking about. I looked it up because I
Yeah,
wanted to
'cause
know
I
what it
wanted
was.
to know what
She
she
was on a picnic with her husband and her daughter. It was the first time they'd been under apple trees, and she's describing a wonderful day that she had in the late 30s or 40s or
So
something like that.
she's
She's
not
just-
a piece of shit for a half a second because
She's
just
lost her mind. She's
lost
just
her
talking
mind.
about a cool picnic day.
Okay. I was curious. And Homelander looks at her and he's like, "Geez, what the fuck?" He's like, "Son, did you do this?"
I thought
And-
he was gonna be more proud than
Yeah,
like,
me too.
You do this?
Yeah, but it to me, it looked at his face. He's like, "Man, that's my girlfriend. I kind of liked her, and I wanted her to be fine." I thought he was gonna be like, "Yeah, fuck her," and then finish her off and be like, "Good job, son." That, but he didn't do that.
she's a
You know,
Nazi.
it looks like they want to save her for a future storyline. Because honestly, she was a great actress. She was a great character.
She got a lot
She's
of crap.
great to
Something
hate.
that you
Great
love to hate,
yes.
like a Joffrey kind of
Yeah,
thing.
exactly.
And if they bring her back, I won't be mad about
No,
it. And
not
I
at
would
all.
like to see. I would like to see her back. But anyways, he's almost completely ignoring Butcher's there because honestly, Butcher's no threat to him,
Doesn't matter.
right? But eventually he's like, "Come here, son. Come here," and he notices. Not only did his son kill put Stormfront out of action, but it appears as if the son is responsible for killing his mother because she's bleeding from the neck. And I don't think Stormfront had any kind of knife or weapon that could destroy the neck. So it does appear. Do
Yeah,
you
that's what
think
it's like.
the
I
son
don't know
killed the
how
mother?
the laser worked because she got destroyed and all she had was that.
You think in the future
the
they'll do a
jugular.
flashback and it really wasn't the son, the mother,
was
the
somebody else.
Stormfront came and stabbed her. I don't know how they're gonna be.
Yeah.
You would think that they would put more burn marks on her.
Yeah,
or
that's
Well,
what
I
was
mean,
thinking.
even Stormfront's lying on the ground, blood spurting everywhere. It's like, all right, so it's not really like heat lasers because it would just be all singed clothes.
something.
But,
But anyways, for now, it is depicted that he is also responsible for killing his mother, and he keeps saying, "I'm sorry, and Butcher is looks at the kid, and at first he grabbed that fucking crowbar, and he's like, "I'm gonna murder this." kid.
He's
not
gonna
going to
die.
be able to.
He's gonna die murdering that kid.
He's
Is
gonna
what's
die
gonna
doing
happen.
it
It's just
'cause
like
the
you're
kid's
gonna hit the
gonna kill
kid,
him.
and the kid's just go zap.
But he's going to do it. But before that, here comes Homefront. Notices, son, did you do this? And then he's like, let's go. But the kid doesn't go because he sees all this blood just covered on Homefront. And I think at this point, the kid realizes Stormfront tried to kill my mom. Homefront, my
Homelander.
father's kind of a piece of shit. I don't want to be with either of these people.
They're crazy.
Well, the mom put the trust in Butcher's like,
Right.
that is my husband. It's like, okay, well, that's like the ultimate like.
With her
referral.
dying wish, she makes Butcher promise to take care
care
of him and to make sure that the son doesn't turn out like his father, because imagine the people that, And she made him promise this before when he's like, you're not coming. No, I'm coming. This is my son. I'm coming. And when she was giving her little speech, like, oh, but promise me that, I was like, she's dead.
Yeah.
I knew right on that fucking moment.
There's a couple things. Promise me that if anything goes wrong, you're gonna die. Or if you say, I'm gonna retire next week, I only got 3 more days on the force, like, you're gonna die. I'm sorry, but you're dead.
So she dies. The kid chooses
Rule of
Butcher. And Homefront's like, all right, well, you're fucking dead, Butcher. And he goes. But then that's when Queen Maeve, after saying, look, I already saved your life, Starlight from Black Noir. Get the fuck out of here. I'm done with this shit. She finds it within herself to fight for the forces of good again. Basically says, Homefront, stop. If you do that, I'm going to expose you. I'm going to show this plane that you killed everybody on. He's like, well, if you do that, I'm going to fucking kill everyone, and I believe him too, but there's some part of him that still loves
He just loves the attention.
Well,
and loves himself.
Do you want your son, or do you want the love and adoration of all these people you don't know? And he really clearly chose that. Well, what is more important?
Did he though? But I don't think he's out of his son's life.
No,
I think he
he's gonna
literally
probably try to get him back.
He
yeah,
does
for sure.
love. I do think he does genuinely
sure.
love his son, because there was that moment where he was connecting with his son before Stormfront kind of showed up, and they were alone in the cabin together. And you could say this is going somewhere. If there's somebody that's going to take down Homefront at this point, I don't think it's going to be Butcher. I don't think it's going to be any of these. It might be Butcher. He's another top candidate, but it could be his son being set against Homefront. Anyways, so yeah, he has to make the difficult decision, and they managed to neatly tie everything up. I didn't know. I'm like, there's no fucking way they can do this, but they did.
Yeah.
They did it. And so Homefront has to swallow his pride, kind of apologize to Starlight for calling her a traitor, and Queen Maeve is there kind of lauding over him, and he's like, the ladies did the good work of exposing my girlfriend who is a Nazi. I didn't know. But they kind of play off the fact that they had a relationship.
Well, and then in the under the news thing, it's like, Stormfront is implicated in the death of Jeffrey Epstein as well.
Really?
And then the bottom of the thing, it's like there's all sorts of crazy stuff they blame.
Little
on.
Easter eggs that they do. Oh, that's too much. That's going too far. Anyways, so finally, so she, God knows where she's at. I think Vought takes control of her, puts her in prison, or maybe the government puts her in prison.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
It's a mystery.
So Homefront lets Butcher and his son walk off. Butcher gives Homefront's son to the government. But that's not all.
No, we go to the collective where we see them, the main guy talking to the Deep and A-Train. He's like, all right, well, one of you guys made it in.
Great.
He's
Another
like,
great
"All
scene with the
right."
Deep. Look, the church storyline
I
goes
don't know where
nowhere.
it's
I don't like
going.
it. But
It's
I
better-
do like seeing the Deep squirm and the
do.
Deep act like an imbecile and an idiot. And it turns out that they let A-Train back in when it was supposed to be the Deep being let back in. And why? Well, because he took initiative. He stole the files. And Deep was like, what the fuck? At first he thinks he's getting in trouble. He's like, I don't fucking know that guy. Yeah. You know what? Fuck that guy.
So, yeah, I don't like Nazis either.
Yeah.
But he's like, no, we're letting A-Train in, and there was only room for one. He's like, what the fuck? No.
He's been in longer and everything. Oh, God.
And but I
It's so
am
bad
happy
for
that
him.
Deep is essentially like, okay, fuck this. Fuck you. Fuck your stupid church. Fuck Fresca. I'm out of here. And this guy's like, look, I think you need to leave. And
Yeah, you're being
You're
really
being real
toxic right now.
Toxic.
But later on, he's on the phone, and he's like, all right, I'm happy that we got tax-exempt status. And
I'm going to give you these secrets about
this
all
and
this
this.
stuff.
And but then all of a sudden, boom! His head fucking explodes in the same way that we've seen other heads explode. So you're like, wait a minute, did Vought do that? No, because right
wasn't
outside
Cindy.
we see a white eye turn back into a normal eye, and it was
Victoria.
fucking Victoria. It's like, wait, what? You mean the senator who was the most outspoken against Vought and the superheroes?
And she was right next to the guy that she exploded too. She's like looking at.
Watching the scene the second time,
Yes.
watching the courtroom
I didn't
scene
get
the
to
second
see
time,
the second
I
time.
saw
it was
Yes.
it's great because like you actually like she is staring at everyone whose heads are exploding,
Really?
and they're trying to drag her out,
Yeah.
and she's fighting them, and then she looks back at someone and their head explodes, and she
Really?
looks at someone else and their head explodes.
Oh,
It's
that's
so
so
good.
Yeah,
It's
cool.
so
I was
good.
That's a
watching
nice
it
So go back and watch
Yeah.
that scene
It's
again.
like,
It's really
I know
good.
who it is. I want to see her. She's like,
like, oh,
my
she did
God.
it.
You could actually see
Oh
her
my
doing it.
Yeah, it's good. It's real good.
I thought, just in my mind's eye, I thought she would just be pretending like, oh, but no.
she is pretending, but she's
She
also
is,
making
but
eye
she's, like,
contact with everyone
looking.
who's exploding.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Anyway,
It's
so
crazy.
it's a great little plot twist reveal because she is now put into charge of this little superhero division that has the government's backing on keeping tabs of them and stuff. But at the same time, not only the Hugh and Starlight get together, and he's like, well, tired of being everybody's little lapdog and just, clingy. I'm going to go do my own thing. And she's like, oh, well, all right. Well, I'm still going to be with you. I'm not fucking stupid.
So yes, we could be friends.
Yeah. And I was like, yeah, yes. Stick with
Don't
Starlight.
be dumb, Huey.
Don't be dumb. And but he was making. She's like, wait, who are you talking about then? So I guess he's kind of talking about Butcher, and he's talking about the boys. He wants to do
yeah.
his own thing, and so he gets a job with her new crew, her legit superhero monitoring crew. And she's the one in charge,
Yeah.
and he's in there. So that is set up so perfect for Huey to start to learn things about something's not quite right with this, with her, and discovering maybe that she was behind this. So great end to a season, and frankly, it's almost self-contained. Part of me doesn't like it in the sense that it's like, damn, we're right back to the beginning, where it's like everything's kind of neat and clean.
didn't know
and
they were
you got
getting a third
Vought again,
season,
you got
though.
that, and I know, but that's what I'm saying. I like it, and I don't like it at the same time. I like it. It's self-contained, and if I never see the boys again and they ended it here, I was like, that was a really fun little side thing. But they are doing more, and I hope it stays at the same quality level as this. So, in my opinion, the last episode was what would you guys
I
rate
would
it?
give it a 9.
A 9?
For me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 9 for me as well. And then let's go to the final verdicts for the entire season as a whole. Season 2, if you remember, we gave season 1 a 10 out of 10. At least I did, if I
I'm gonna give it
remember
a
right.
9.
9.
Yeah. What would you give season 2?
This one was interesting for me because I don't think it was as consistent or started out as strong as season 1. It decided to branch out, do more things, and the issue with branching out and doing more things is it's harder to pull everything back together. But I think they landed it pretty flawlessly,
About
right?
as
So
well as
they
they
took
could.
the risk. They went out and did some things. I mean, there were still issues when you're watching the beginning where you're like, man, what is this storyline? What is happening? What's going on with the Deep? None of this stuff kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
But it all came back together in a really cohesive kind of way. I really enjoyed it. I think the writing is still really good.
You like the new characters?
I think everything about the season was pretty good. I mean, like I said, it had a slightly weaker start. So, I mean, it's not going to be, I think it's as good as the first season, which for the second season, kind of like the sequel season, that's a hard thing to do. So
Yeah,
I
that's
think
what I was
that
gonna say.
it is as good. It just takes a little bit of time to get going. So I'm also going to go with a 9 out of 10 for season 2.
Yeah.
Actually, I did give it a 9 out of 10 with a badass seal of approval. So not a 10 out of 10 season 1. So
Yeah, for me, season was like all hype and whatnot. This one, it's hard to follow like a season 2's. I'm still not too sold on the collective. I don't know what's going on. This
will
better
they be a
fucking
big bad
pay
of the
off.
second season? I don't think so because they kind of knocked the head of the church out.
It was like
right?
comic relief. Like it served
think
a
it was
purpose.
comic relief.
It served a purpose because they had all of the information. They were actually one of the few people that had all of the information on Stormfront because she's been alive for so long.
Yeah.
And so they kind of put that in there.
Some of the original
Yeah,
members.
but overall, it's gonna be a 9 out of 10 for me.
Okay. again, damn, man, I wish I would have given the first season a 10 because I do think that the first season's a little better than the second season. But just because I enjoy the first season a tiny bit more than the second doesn't mean that I didn't like the way they pushed everything forward, right? I really like the new directions they're going in. Things are changing in the world, even though they managed to wrap it up in such a neat way to where it kind of feels like it's in the same position that it was, previously. But the potential is there for quite an interesting conclusion. And as far as I can tell, it's not following. There's 72 issues of The Boys graphic novel, and I don't believe it's following that. So I think, it's taking inspirations, it's taking characters from it. So I kind of think they can do kind of what they want to do with it, and that makes it super interesting to me. But it also leaves it a massive potential of
what could go wrong when they don't have source
failing.
material to go from, and then they get lazy with the final season of something.
But
Joe?
they're not
What
going to
could
get
go
lazy.
wrong?
Yeah, I think these are different
know what,
writers.
he
They're
forgot-
not Game of Thrones. Those guys are fucking hacks, and we discovered that. I hope that doesn't happen to this season.
Yeah, I think-
So I am going to rate it a 9 out of 10, the same as first season, but I do like the first season a tiny bit better. But it is a 9 out of 10. It is a fantastic.
What we forgot to mention too at the end of this season finale was Homelander's epic moment on top of the roof.
Yeah,
Oh
you're
my
like-
God.
course
I
you
erased that from my
I was
mind.
like, what is going on here?
So to
I
close
do
out the
whatever I
season
want.
almost,
Whatever
we get
I
to
want.
watch Homelander masturbate.
all over
Like
the set.
Batman style where he's
watching over
above,
the
like
city.
hanging on the.
I could do whatever.
I want to do whatever I
was like,
want.
What is he doing? Is he doing what? Yes, he
Yes.
is.
Mhm.
He is. Oh God.
I was like, what the fuck am I watching?
I thought what I read is they wanted to put that in season 1, and then Amazon said no. And so now that they're like, all right, now we've proven that we're successful.
They
We've
give him a
proven
little
that
bit more
They're
room.
like, all right, you can put in the weird jerking off scene.
So fucking weird.
Yeah, so they earned their right to put the jerking off scene, and they did it. And you know what? In a small, disgusting, weird way, that
liked it?
does give me hope for the third season that they continue to just do whatever the fuck they want, right? And, the writers have said that, yes, I am kind of injecting kind of some of the things that I'm seeing in the world now, and I'm making some commentary on some things happening. So we might see a little bit of, a response to, government and COVID and things like that. I don't know how they're going to integrate stuff like that. Can that be interesting? That doesn't sound like a good idea, but seeing how they took the kind of standard boring story of a secret Nazi, Stormfront, who's revealed later and then just punches and all this other stuff, to kind of this angle of trying to, confuse and manipulate people using social media, using I'm one of you and this kind of thing. That
All the
was an
great
interesting
memes.
take. So, you know what? If you keep putting out good writing and good takes like this, and interesting ways for your protagonist to find ways out of. I'm all for it because honestly, I would be a little disappointed if we don't get the conclusion of Homelander. I need to see how Homelander story ends. There were moments where I was thinking, can he go good? With his son
You
somehow.
See a little glimmer.
A little glimmer of what he could have been, and that's fascinating. But I don't think it's possible for Homelander to go good. And I do think that the ultimate conclusion, satisfying conclusion for me, would be to see Homelander's conclusion. Because once Homelander's out of the series, I don't give a fuck.
No, he's really important.
He's one of the best characters. Now Butcher is really good too. I gotta say, Carl Urban's performance, and I will say. Part of the reason I rated this one so high, even in comparison to the first, is taken in new directions, but it really did deepen everyone's character. Butcher's character going from a badass to this sort of realizing that Huey is good for him in his life and kind of becoming the surrogate father for, this superpowered kid has been a good one and one that I buy. So.
How many more seasons do you want, though? Because
One more.
I think one more.
One more should be fine because after
I
that,
will
they're
go
gonna
for
be
2 more.
stretching.
I would go up to 2. Because, Joe, get this. There's a guy from Supernatural who was now announced he's going to be in the second season. I don't know which
Third.
supernatural guy. He's going to be
it
a
Sam or
fucked up
Dean?
Captain America kind of guy.
Oh yeah.
And he worked with the previous, director of The Boys on Supernatural. And so he's going to kind of, show up in this patriotic kind of way. That's going to be very interesting how he's going to interact with Homelander. Can't have two Captain Americas. Can't have two Supermans. So it's going to be pretty interesting.
I would still want just 3 seasons and make it like 10 episodes.
Yeah,
fun.
I could definitely see doing that. I think one of the risks
Yeah.
with a show like this is
Going
stretching
too
it
far.
out is like a death knell to
Yeah.
everything. Because once the story stops becoming compelling, once it becomes like a weird problem of the week type thing, then I think it loses its charm. So I'd really respect if they go, we've got writing for 3 seasons or 4 seasons. Like, look,
Okay.
if you've got the writing for it and it's going to be good, but you don't see a lot of series that
Yeah.
just continue to go on.
No. It'd be unacceptable if this thing ran 7, 8, 6, 5. I think 4 for me.
Max.
I agree with y'all that I think 3 would be perfect, but I'm unsure if they can like do it all in 3 and wrap everything up in 3. I would like for them to, but I'd go up to 4. Now, as a way to kind of end this is how do you think this thing is going to end?
Well, the thing I was thinking about season 3, I want to see the Deep. What's his conclusion?
yeah,
as
yeah.
much as you want to see Homelander, I was like, come on, man.
You
Like,
wanna know
he's
what's
dumb,
going
but
on
like,
with
I
Deep.
just wanted to see what
Do you think
happens to
Deep
him,
will have
right?
this epic moment because he's a fuck up? Even when he had
Oh,
this
he's
massive
out of the
whale
church
and the
now.
dolphin and the thing, it's like he
Bless his
screws
heart.
everything up. But he's gonna get one win.
I
And
want
what
it-
is that win gonna be?
I want him to be a supervillain. I want him to switch sides and just go full
Maybe.
evil. I want him to be like
'Cause he's not-
go off the rocker and then figure out a way to be like, all right, if I have
He's
all
like
of the sea animals
Batman.
do this thing, I can flood the whole world, and then it be like it just. They could go real silly with the Deep.
Okay, there's that, and also what's gonna
Unfortunately,
happen-
I think Deep is just gonna remain a comedy relief
Yeah.
the whole
I
fucking time.
know. What's gonna happen to Black Noir? Because he's gonna be coming back, maybe.
Yeah.
So he knows Maeve fucked with
I
him,
know.
so-
I couldn't help myself, but I went ahead in the comics to kind of figure out who the
you
fuck
know?
Black Noir
Oh,
is
okay.
and what is his thing. And I do hope they do what it is in the
Well, they've
comics.
hinted at it pretty heavily in season 1. Remember the Homelander? You kept saying Homefront, and so it has me screwed up.
Yeah.
It's just like
I
Homelander.
did say Homefront.
Oh yeah, so
That's
he
a video game.
Yeah. So he walks into the room and he's like, "Oh, you're all screwing up, except you, Black Noir. You're great." And one of
Yeah.
the reasons is because the source material, the only person that actually kind of freaks out and scares Homelander is Black Noir.
So he's
and
just
so
Batman.
I would love if they assemble this kind of like whole team to
Yeah.
take him on, where they've got Maeve isn't enough, right? So you're
Yeah.
gonna have to have all of these pieces together, including maybe this new Captain America.
I think
to
you
take
guys would be shocked if he was unmasked. He came close. He came close to seeing his face.
I mean,
in
we
this
know
one.
who plays him.
But we'll see.
Close.
how-
And the other thing is, what's gonna happen with Edgar too?
Yes.
The guy from-
He wins. I want him to win.
Yeah, 'cause
I
they're-
love that
they're
actor.
still
He's
going-
so
yeah.
good. Giancarlo Esposito
He's
is
great.
so good.
He's like, yeah. When has it never been about business?
I want him to be
So,
at the whole end of the
Compound
thing.
V
When has it
now-
ever been anything other
Other
than just a
business.
business
So
trend?
Compound V is basically public
Yeah.
now. It's still going through.
Yeah.
So we got to figure out that conclusion as well.
The conclusion to a series like The Boys, it can't like be too neat. You think it'll be like Compound V is spread and everyone is now a superhero, or there's way more superheroes and The Boys have never-ending work.
No.
Maybe
that's what
how
I
it
don't want.
ends.
That's why I was like, stop it at 3 because
That's
then
too
they're
much.
gonna do that. It's like, oh, these
Or the
criminals are making their
alternative
own.
is that Compound V is destroyed and the heroes kind of retire and the world can run on its own without heroes. We'll have to see.
I just think that
Guys, let us know what you think. Alex, let us know what you think.
I just think that I would like to see Vought come out pretty much unscathed,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that's kind of like what makes everything great is no matter what happens to them, they come out on top.
So
And
Queen
they
Maeve
spend-
was right in the end.
Yeah, they
Nothing-
come out on top.
nothing's gonna
Homelander
change.
can die, and they can get that whole legacy can be done. But I think Vought should just be like, all right, stock set.
Plant that seed for future.
Yep.
For future stuff. Joe. All right, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. We just love discussing good, series like this with you guys. And let us know how you think this thing is going to end. And
How many seasons you want?
And how many seasons do you want? All right. We'll see you guys on the next Angry Joe Show. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
And I need excuses to dress up in this costume, as much as possible.
Yeah, 'cause
So
there's
the
no
only one that can
movie,
stop
there's no
Homefront
game.
is this guy here, but he's not going to show up, at least not in this
Not anytime
series.
soon.
All right, guys. We'll see you on the next Angry Joe Show.
Homelander.
Home front.